I got to watch Werewolf by Night. This is, I guess, technically a TV movie. It's only like 52 minutes long, has a rating of TV 14. I wonder if they ever thought about doing a TV MA version and then like putting it, because it's on Disney Plus. So like, let's have a TV MA version for the adults, and like you gotta enter a PIN code or like, I don't know, pass a test. And then let's have the TV 14 for all the rapscallions, you know, because this movie was in black and white, and I was like, you know my thoughts on black and white movies. I'm not a huge fan, okay? And some would say I'm a detractor. I'm a hater. I'm a critique of black and white movies. Like the Lighthouse. When that friggin' movie came on and was 4:3 aspect ratio in black and white, I was like, you are testing my limits, bro. Luckily, it was such a good movie that it's like, all right, I'll look past it. Like Justice League being in black and white. For it's like, why would you do this to us? Why? So most times I'd be like, this is a personal affront and I'm personally offended. But this time it was like, oh, I get it. They kind of had to, given it's a TV movie, they're trying to go for a broader audience. You know, it's kind of like in Kill Bill, was it 1 or 2, where they go into that dojo and Uma Thurman has to fight like that whole gang, and it's like it goes to black and white, and you're like, oh snap, dude, it's about to get crazy grotesque in here. We're talking graphic. And so I got that same vibe from this. I'm like, all right, I accept. I approve this message. Neal Lynch for counsel. So what is Werewolf by Night? It's on Disney Plus. We know that. I think it released maybe in mid-October. It's been out for a couple weeks now, but it follows a lycanthrope superhero who fights evil using the abilities given to him by a curse brought on by his bloodline. Lycanthrope, I mean, I guess that's already a spoiler, but I mean, five minutes into it, you're like, okay, I get it. Like the title of the TV movie is Werewolf by Night. Okay. Yeah. But they do lead you in the beginning segments to be like, so there's this monster, y'all gonna hunt it, and you can get this here bloodstone, which is all powerful. But you're gonna hunt this monster, wink. And we're not saying it's a werewolf, wink. Here's the official synopsis. It's the description from Disney. On a dark and somber night, a secret cabal. By the way, cabal, dude. What a freaking great word. A secret cabal of monster hunters emerge from the shadows and gather at the foreboding Bloodstone Temple following the death of their leader, whose last name is Bloodstone. In a strange and macabre is also a great word, memorial to the leader's life. The attendees are thrust into a mysterious and deadly competition for a powerful relic, a hunt that will ultimately bring them face to face with a dangerous monster. It's directed by Michael. I'm gonna butcher this. I'm Italian, so I should know. Giacchino. I mean, he's only directed 3 things. 2 of them were shorts before this, so this is his first kind of longer form type production that he's directed. But you probably know him as a composer. I mean, name a movie or a TV show, and he's an award-winning composer. So that's probably how you know him. And I gotta say, after watching this, dude's got a future in directing. I expect him to have a lot more projects fall in his lap after this, because I thought he did a phenomenal job. It's written by Heather Quinn, who also wrote Hawkeye, and Peter Cameron, who had writing credits on Moon Knight and WandaVision, and also written by Gerry Conway, who does a lot of comic book stuff. He's written episodes of Harley Quinn and also The Punisher, which I guess I should check those out, huh? It's about time, Neal. It's about time. Stars Gael García Bernal as Jack Russell. What a freaking name, dude. Jack Russell. Jack Russell Terrier, huh? Like the dog, huh? I think you understand what's happening here. Laura Donnelly as Elsa Bloodstone. She's the daughter of the deceased Ulysses Bloodstone, who is the leader of the pack there. Laura Donnelly gives me the vibes of the woman who is one of the leads in The Bee in Apartment 23, that show, but also Jessica Jones, that superhero show. She was the lead in that. I think she was also in Out of My League, possibly. And she does things. Okay. To my brain, to my body. She does things. She doesn't know it, but she does. Anyway, this Laura Donnelly gives me those vibes. And Harriet Sansom Harris as Verussa, the stepmother. What a job by this lady. Reminds me a little bit of Oscar winner Olivia Colman. No. Gives me the same vibes as the woman from Handmaid's Tale. She was also in The Leftovers. What is her name? Thank you, Hulu. She said that in an award speech. Hulu. Got a kick out of that. This actress, Harriet Sansom Harris, very similar vibes. So I thought the casting was great in this. Kirk R. Thatcher's Jovan. I think that was the kind of Viking type Nordic warrior type dude. Had axes and stuff. He's pretty baller. Eugenie Bondurant as Azrael. I gotta look this one up. I don't even remember this dude, man. Werewolf by Night. Azrael. Okay, looking. Okay, so this is, all right, nice. Is that the one? Yeah, I guess that is. Huh. So Azrael kind of looks like David Bowie. Like David Bowie in that famous, is it the album where he has this is ground control to Major Tom. David Bowie lightning bolt. They made a lightning bolt makeup. Rocked out David Bowie's lightning bolt. Yeah. David Bowie's iconic 1973 Aladdin Sane lightning bolt look. That look, do you know what I'm talking about? That's what Azrael reminded me of. I'd like to see more of him, her, they, them, Z, Zaddy, whatever it is. That character was cool. Wanted more out of that character for sure. Leonardo Nam as Leorn. I mean, they don't really say their names a lot in the movie as far as I could tell, so that was kind of hard. But I believe Leorn was the like samurai type dude who he had some cool like face makeup and stuff. Daniel J. Watts as Barrasso. He seems like Wesley Snipes' Blade. I mean, like every person you look at them and you automatically, they're like, that person looks sort of familiar. And I think that's what makes it work, is because you see the character and you're like, you already have a pretty good guess or idea of like who they are and like what they've done and all that crap. So Brasso is like the Wesley Snipes Blade character. Yeah. I like what they did with Ulysses Bloodstone. It was kind of very gave me Big vibes. You know, in the movie Big, where it's like they go to the boardwalk and the genie that's in the arcade game type thing is like enter the coin and it's like it was kind of freaky and I dug it. So yeah, all these hunters, these monster hunters who have like these dozens and dozens of monster kills, they come together, and that part was interesting. An interesting little twist where it's like, hey, so the goal is to kill this monster to get the bloodstone. But everyone's fair game, meaning like you can just kill whoever you want on the way to killing that monster, which I thought was like, whoa, this is a little hardcore, dude, from Marvel. Never seen the kind of stuff. And that's why it was in black and white, because there was a lot of gruesome attacks and violence. I dug the aesthetic that they used. It was kind of very old school 50s, 40s, 30s, 20s, maybe even black and white, or that kind of analog film feel to it, even though it was shot in digital. They would do little things to get you in that mindset of like that old school horror. So they would have like the cigarette burn in the top right corner, which is what they used to use to indicate a change between reels on the film projectors, because the film projector would only have so much movie, dude, and so much film. You gotta switch it to his little cigarette burn to let you know. You gotta change it, dude. Change it up. So I appreciate that. I like that a lot. So Giacchino, I said he had a lot of credits. He wrote the scores for Doctor Strange and for the Spider-Man trilogy with the MCU, and was co-composer on Thor: Love and Thunder. This is Marvel Studios' first Halloween special, and I think a lot of people would agree that a lot of these specials ain't so special, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Most Christmas specials that kind of suck. And like, I guess the Bill Murray Christmas special wasn't too bad. And what was the one with the singer, Casey Musgraves? That wasn't too bad. But most of the specials, it's like, the David S. Pumpkins Halloween special, dude. How many people wanted that to be so good? And it was just like, okay. All right. So this is Marvel's first Halloween special. And judging based on this, would love to have it every year, dude. Would love it. And of course, I just saw that Guardians of the Galaxy is going to have a Christmas special, which I remember seeing the trailer and I was like, oddly, I'm into this. This doesn't feel like it's going to be a complete nightmare. So these are based on the comic books, which I didn't know about. did not know going into that. But in the comic books, Werewolf by Night and Man-Thing were members of the original Legion of Monsters, along with Morbius and Ghost Rider, dude. Whoa. So are we building to a Legion of Monsters movie, which Morbius getting work all over the place? Got a Sinister Six franchise lined up, maybe. And then a Legion of Monsters release. Maybe Nick Cage comes back as Ghost Rider. What? Dude, what? Yeah, so the monster, I guess if you haven't seen it yet, the spoiler alert, the monster is not a werewolf, although it is kind of eventually a werewolf. But the original monster that everyone's hunting is called Man-Thing, and his name is Ted. So Ted the Man-Thing kind of looks like Swamp Thing meets Chulutu. What's that big monster? Spaghetti monster. What was it called? Chutulu? Chutululu. I've never actually had to pronounce that name. Chutulu. Chutulu kind of looks like a combination of that and Swamp Thing. Let's see if I can get a little freaking. All right, here we go. Cthulhu. Never would have guessed that, dude. Never would have guessed that. Cthulhu. All right. Cthulhu. Never would have guessed that. So kind of like Cthulhu meets Swamp Thing, and very cool. I dug that character a lot. Ted the Man-Thing. Gael García Bernal. What a job by this dude. I freaking love this guy. I can't remember a movie where I was like, I don't like what that guy's doing. I always like what that guy's doing. He's never disappointed me. He's never failed me. Then there've been a lot of movies where it's like I feel like I would have tuned out if it weren't for his performance. So another great performance from him. He is, in fact, the werewolf in question. So he's there to save Man-Thing because I believe their family, possibly, maybe it's like Vin Diesel's like a concept of family. Like it's a really strong group of friends. But yeah, that's why Jack Russell, wink, is in there to save Ted the Man-Thing. He buddies and partners up with Elsa, the daughter, estranged daughter, to get her done. There's a scene with a flaming tuba. I mean, that is all you need to know. Little things like that can go a long way, folks, when you're coming up with a production, a horror production, if you will. Like, just throw a flaming fucking tuba in there, dude. Yes. I do love the pageantry and the ritual, and it just feels so cool. It's a wonder. I don't know, that kind of gotten away from that, haven't we, folks? Like, what are we getting back to? These really cool rituals and traditions and stuff like that. Like the ceremony. There's so much ceremony that went into that one scene where it's like all the meter. Like the picture, that scene could be done so much more vanilla and blah, and they didn't. And I'm so grateful they didn't. And I feel like more writers, directors, producers, like just people in general in that biz can look and watch it, something like that. It was almost Tarantino-esque. Like, here's a very simple thing. We're just going to tell you what this is. It's just a reveal of like, hey, this is what you're going to do, which could be done in such a like ho-hum, straightforward, mundane manner. But Tarantino always cranks it up to 11. And I feel like this did it in similar fashion, where it's like, this has got to be memorable. So I do hope this is kind of like a jumping off point. But at the same time, it's like, I'm starting to lose track of all these characters in the MCU, dude. But would be pretty sweet if they don't let this just be a one and done, you know. So this hall that they go into, this room where they're gonna have Ulysses kind of do his little, I guess you would say it's like a last will and testament, like he recorded it before he passed, and then he's doing this animatronic version of him is like giving the instructions and directions, which I thought was so cool. And you even see like the people that they get. Even better is that this weird thing happens, and then they cut to someone that has a reaction of like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, you know, even though we're in this universe where like monsters are real and you're a monster hunter, and like Azrael is over there looking all David Bowie, and you know, Basaro is looking like Blade, and you know, like, even though all this is going down, like, is that a freaking animatronic? What? I love that. But so there's this hallway where all the monsters are depicted in murals, or they're hanging on the walls after the kill. And one of them was Gore the God Butcher was in the mix there. When they were going through the pages of what the Bloodstone is and what creatures are affected, the first creature is a Wendigo. The Wendigo first appeared in Marvel's The Incredible Hulk April 1973 issue. And if you're not familiar with what a Wendigo is, I'm guessing you never saw the movie Antlers. And I recommend watching the movie Antlers, because that, spoiler, is the main antagonist villain in antlers. And the Wendigo is no joke, dude. I wouldn't want to fuck with the Wendigo. No thanks. While this is the first on-screen appearance of Ted the Man-Thing in the MCU. He was mentioned in by Maria Hall in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. 2014, and then there was a sculpture of his face carved into Grandmaster's palace as in Thor Ragnarok. Completely missed that. But that's just the level of freaking detail. I mean, like, that's what I love most about this MCU. And it's surprising that more people didn't try and do it before the MCU. And now everyone's trying to do it, where it's like you're trying to connect everything, which I dig. I appreciate that. I actually did a video for Uprocks about all the connections in the Tarantino verse. Probably just is not live or exist online anymore because of whatever reason. But man, that was a cool video to work on. This film, particularly this TV movie, has been in development since 2001. That is bananar, dude. 2001, 20 freaking years. In year 15, or in year 10, I'd be like, we're still talking about this? Yeah, we're still talking about it? Cool. Yeah. You're shitting me, right? You're joking with me? You're pulling my chain, my leg. Wow. Werewolf By Night. And then year 15, it's going to be like, yeah. No. Yeah, we're going to do it. Dude, we're going to do it. Yeah, of course we are. So to have it finally done after 20 years, what a relief that is. Because like, I'm not even close to finishing my script. I've been working on it for 6 years. Like, I'd love to just finish it before the end of the year and just get it out to someone. But that's just step one. Then it's going to get kicked around everywhere. If it's even good enough for everyone to consider. Kicked around for like probably 2 years. Then they'll have like 3 different leads attached to it that they'll just cycle through them because their schedules, quote unquote. That's another like 2-3 years. I can imagine 20 years from now, it's the year 2044. and And Bachelor Monsters finally hit the big screen, which won't even exist in 2044. It's like everyone will have their own virtual headset. It was Kevin Feige's decision to include Man-Thing, which, I mean, perfect, dude. You nailed it. Like, what other monster were they going to have? Wendigo would be pretty cool, but Man-Thing was, it's like Man-Thing was kind of scary, but also kind of cuddly and cute, dude. So I can see why Man-Thing makes the most sense. But the interaction between Jack Russell, Gael García Bernal's character, who is the werewolf, we missed that, and Man-Thing, like that's a cool little buddy. Feels like that could be a road trip. That could be they become cops, something like that. Like that's a good duo. And then eventually, Over the Rainbow by Judy Garland plays as the movie turns from black and white to color, which happens in The Wizard of Oz. Thought that was a nice little touch as well. Very rich story. Kind of crazy they just didn't go all out with a feature-length movie, but if you could do it in 55, 52, why not? It does feel like there's more promise here and potential than there is with She-Hulk. Oh, I said it. I'm just curious about how so if like She-Hulk's going to be in future movies, does she do the break the fourth wall thing there too? Yeah, I guess she would. Because like if Deadpool did it. Yeah. So I don't know. I have weird blockades up in this old bean, you know? There are things that's like that could never work, and then it's like, well, it has worked, and it's to the tune of $1 billion. Global box office, you freaking douche. For some reason I feel like there's more fertile ground with this than there is with She-Hulk. But I don't want to be that guy, you know? I didn't hate it. So what do the critics have to say about this fantastic piece of art? 91% of critics on Rotten Tomatoes gave it a favorable review out of 98 reviews, and a 7.6 out of 10 average rating. The consensus was a spooky yarn told with taut economy. Oh, I love that. Taut economy. That gets me all kinds of riled up. Werewolf by Night is a standout Marvel entry that proves Michael Giacchino as atmospheric and skilled a director as he is composer, and I agree with all that. Taut economy as well. What did the audience have to say? Great question. 90% of the audience gave it a favorable review out of more than 2,500 ratings with a 4.4 out of 5 average rating. I would say, I think I gave it like an 8 out of 10. So we're right in that same ballpark. What did the audience say? The audience said Werewolf by Night brings a fresh look and feel to the MCU. And just as importantly, it's also a lot of fun to watch. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I think that's what makes movies like this so good. The ability to infuse humor. It doesn't have to be like crazy humor, just like little stuff that's funny that, you know, is peculiar, sticks out, you know, like the animatronic thing, you know, that's a great humorous moment. The first interaction between Jack Russell and Man-Thing, you know, little stuff like that. So I dug it. There were 42,000 IMDb users that rated this flick, and they gave it a 7.3 out of 10, which I think is a little low, to be honest. I think 7.3, 7.6 out of 10 feels a little low. It's closer to an 8. That's Werewolf by Night by Calvin Klein. I really do hope they do that. That's like a every Halloween thing. They just do another Halloween special similar to this, like another installment in the anthology of this little mini universe, this little world of monsters, the Legion of Monsters, dude. I mean, how do you not get jacked about hearing that? Legion of Monsters? Come on. So yeah, really hope they do more with that.